Welcome to my crappy garage. Let me show you around.
I just bought this 50-year-old Porsche 911 off of Facebook Marketplace for $10,000, and it has been sitting for over a decade and has seen some better days. Since the late 90s, when young Matthew was dialing up that sweet dial-up internet for the first time, I've always wanted one of these babies. But they've always been out of my reach, especially since the pandemic. But then this one came along, and this one was special. It was missing an engine, it was missing a transmission, and it's had a fire. But that didn't scare me off. I just saw opportunity. So yeah, a 50-year-old Porsche that's been sitting around for the better half of a decade, it's gonna have some problems. Man, I don't even know what half those wires are. Like, this part is going to test my patience. And not only are we gonna fix it up, we're gonna attempt to drive this baby from the top of Alaska to the bottom of Argentina across a good old Pan America highway. And if that isn't good enough, we're gonna be using this channel to raise funds for a good cause. So stick around for cars, adventure, dogs, and a whole lot of challenges. My name is Matt, welcome to this crazy adventure, and welcome to Revive the Drive. All right, so during the pandemic, like most people, we were all bored at home, perfecting our sourdoughs, doing some home renovations, but in the meantime, some other stuff was brewing.
Used cars have actually gone up in value instead of losing it.
You may also have noticed the higher prices out there. The pandemic partially to blame for that too.
Or you might be surprised to find that prices are soaring.
Used car prices were skyrocketing. It seemed like everyone and their grandma had to get a nice used car, rev it up and down the road. And as used cars got more popular, so did the auction sites. YouTube exploded with car repair videos, and I wanted in on it. So you might be thinking to yourself, Matt, you don't know the first thing about fixing a car, let alone driving 20,000 miles from Alaska to Argentina. That might be true, but what I do have is stubbornness, and a lot of it, plus a sense of adventure. Like, sure, yes, a lot of these skills I don't have, but I want to learn them, and you gotta start somewhere. I can't be perfect right away, so why not do it on this? And so my search began for the perfect pandemic car. I spent months, years dreaming about what I would get and what I would do with it. I spent endless hours clicking through ads and scrolling through Facebook Marketplace. But one car in particular kept coming back, the Porsche 911. I've loved the 911 ever since I discovered dial-up internet. While most people were spending their summers playing sports and trying to get their first kiss, I was on the internet, blocking up the phone line, trying to look for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater cheats and drooling over photos of the 996 Turbo. I couldn't get enough of it. What most people hate today, I loved. The crazy headlights, wild tailpipes, that big-ass wing, I had never seen anything like it. The Porsche 911 made its debut in 1963 at the Frankfurt Motor Show. Designed under the guidance of Ferdinand Buzzi Porsche, it was the successor of the Porsche 356. Initially powered by an air-cooled, rear-mounted flat-six engine, the 911 offered a unique driving experience. Over the years, Porsche has continuously refined the 911, but has always been committed to tradition. Today, the Porsche 911 remains a benchmark for sports cars, celebrated for its timeless design, engineering prowess, and unrivaled driving dynamics that continue to captivate enthusiasts and set benchmarks in the automotive world. Now, a running and driving vintage 911 goes for $50,000 on the low end, and that's for a model somebody doesn't want. For something that's a little bit more sought after, it can quickly get over $100,000, even $1 million in some cases. Now, I wanted even one of those less sought after ones, and I had to figure out a way how to get one. Instead, I bought this. It's a 1976 Porsche 911 Targa that has seen better days. I'm terrified. And somehow we need to fix it, get it running, and then drive it down the entire Pan America highway.
it honestly terrifies the crap out of me. There's a lot of self-doubt in with this project, but I got time. I've got determination, stubbornness. It will be a process. Wish me luck. So let's take a look inside. It's rough. Oh man, it smells so nostalgic in here. It mostly smells like mouse piss, but it's also a heavy dose nostalgia from my dad working on cars in the past. No top. Back seats are there. Yeah, that's seen better days. Missing pieces, and oh yeah, we don't have that either. There's also a few other things we don't have. Exhibit A, there's a big empty spot in here and down there. That's going to be the biggest tackle, and it's right there. So this had been sitting in a barn for, I think, 10 years is what the guy who I bought it from told me. And so originally it was going to be a parts car. Let's see if I can get that. Yeah. And we have a lot of the pieces here, but how corroded and awful, and yeah, those need to be replaced. Everything that's just going to be a common theme of everything needs to be replaced. And put this on there because I got it for like $100 nearby, but it's missing this piece down here. Someone cut it off, and so we're gonna learn welding. That's gonna be really fun. Also, there's a bunch of just random parts here. So I think a lot of it is like the engine shroud. Some other missing pieces. I know like we don't have all of the headlights. It was also apparently in a fire, so working on this metal is not going to be fun and very difficult. I'm still trying to figure out how to strip all this paint, and the bones of it are in good nick. It's just, yeah, this is the belly of the beast that is gonna make or break this project. Figure this out. The wiring is what gives me heart palpitations. I don't even know how I'm going to figure that one out. So step one, it's going to be rebuilding this. Honestly, it's actually been pretty fun. When we dive into this more, we'll see what's broken, but I'm confident we can get this fixed up, and transmission arrives next week. We're probably going to rebuild that as well. And hopefully within a month here, we can start trying to get her to run. Awesome. All right, we have buckets of stuff. Let's go through it. The biggest one is the engine. It's not the original engine, but it is a magnesium case. So there's likely a lot of problems when we dive in this more. So uneven wearing of the bearings, some of the bolts pulling out. So that's the part that makes me nervous about the engine. There's definitely parts of that we will need to bring to a machine shop to fix, but we will tackle that as we get that, and I'm not going to get stressed out about that now. Obvious ones that are missing, so the door panel, but I bought one of those. It's not a perfect match, but it's enough where we can build a template. And reupholster that. I think I have enough for the front bumper. Again, I need to weld on the right fender, and also have to show you how horrible the fitting is on that. So we might be just ditching that and trying to source another one, but we'll get to that. Transmission and the transmission bracket, but I had just ordered one that should arrive next week. And I think it's just like the computers, because I think those got fried. Which I just looked into that, which that has most of these components new. So I might just cash that out anyways. But this is looking better than I thought. Welcome to this project. One of the big issues that I am already running into is tools, and tools are going to be what nickel and dime me on this project. We're already working on the engine block, and it's like, oh, you need a special tool to remove the camshaft. Let's wait another 2 days for that, another $100 to get that. Tiny little pieces everywhere need to be fixed on it. The paint's terrible. Bumper is missing some pieces. You saw the back, there's nothing in there, and I don't know what pieces are there and not there. It looks like most of the electrical stuff is not there. There's a missing door card in there. It smells so rank in there. We're gonna have to replace everything in there. I somehow think that I'm going to try to do the upholstery work on there. I really do want to try. I really do. These are so many skills that I know I used to have, and I've gotten so damn lazy over the years that let's try reapplying myself to this stuff, and let's have some fun with it. There's going to be a lot of failures, and that is okay. That is how you learn. I could have made, and I have been making, 1,000 different excuses for not starting this, or other reasons too, and just that voice in your head that says you can't do this. And so we're kind of telling that to shut up, and we're just going to dive into the deep end and make the most out of this project and have fun along the way. All right, this next part I gotta sit down for. A little short, but that'll work. So how do I describe this next part? So for this channel, I didn't want it to just be, hey, look at another white guy build a Porsche.
Well, let me tell you something about those white guys.
There's enough of that out there, and mine it's never gonna be a showroom quality piece. But I wanted to be real, and so here is your average person putting together a car, and what can we do with it? And so I got in my head, we're gonna try to take a Porsche 911 from the top of Alaska down to the bottom of Argentina across the Pan American Highway. And so I don't know what I signed myself up for. I think it's a super cool goal. And so that's the whole point of this channel, is let's take some cool old cars, fix them up, and let's take them on road trips. So it sounds super cool just saying it, but as soon as I've looked into it, it's like, oh, that is almost 20,000 miles down a highway, and you kind of miss some of the best spots. So just logistically, that's a large piece of time. And there's just this little thing in the middle called, is it the Darien Gap? Hold on.
Big area in between North and South America. In Spanish it's said as Darien Gap. So in English, Darien Gap.
This guy's voice is just buttery.
Gap. Stress on that
Love
last
it.
N.
Yeah, we got it, most of it. You can't pass it. That's the gist of it. There's no road. That's a big gap. Whole bunch of border crossings. And then there's just this small thing, reliability, which these air-cooled Porsches are not known for. So there's a few things that we're gonna work on with the engine to try to make it a little bit more reliable. So better cooling, better oil flow, oil pumping, better oil circulation. That's probably incorrect. And some better electrical stuff across the board. There's a lot of improvements we need to make for this vehicle to make it go 20,000 miles. Like the speedometer right now is 70,000, and so tacking on just another quarter of its life in one go, And the last part of it is because of this girl. This is Sharon, and Sharon is a 14-year-old Galgo from Spain, a Spanish Galgo, and she was adopted by a group called Galgos Del Sol, and they're an amazing organization. And so my hope for this channel is that we'll be able to raise funds for Galgos Del Sol as we do this build and this drive. But I can only say so much. Let's take a look at who Galgos Del Sol are.
This was an empty piece of land, and because of you believing in the Galgos Del Sol dream, these dogs can now get off the streets, have a safe place to come before preparing for the sweet life. I can never ever say thank you enough, never.
So, thanks for watching. The best thing you can do to help support this channel and support Galgos Del Sol is follow along, subscribe, like, and share, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.